So, I wanted to tell you something very quickly. And you know that's always a bad sign when a rabbi says that they want to tell you something quickly. We are still in Shabbat service mode. And because what I am going to tell you is really important, you're going to want to listen to this. So there's this woman living in London, and she is going on a trip to Africa. And it's about 11 hours flying time from London to Africa, from Heathrow to wherever she was going, Heathrow Airport. And she got a little bored while she was waiting for her plane. She was going to go on a plane for 11 hours, and she was a little bored. And so she tweeted something about her trip to Africa, and she tweeted something somewhat flippant, maybe kind of silly, maybe something that, you know, she didn't think was going to be such a big deal about African people or something like that. This is a true story. When she got off the plane in Africa, her tweet had been retweeted over 1 million times, and her name had been Google searched over 1 million times because she said something that could have been misunderstood or understood as racist in this tweet, right? 152 characters. In 11 hours, she got off the plane and she had become an internationally known person because she tweeted this tweet, and because of the way social media works, everyone went crazy. And people were saying awful, terrible things about her, having never met her. And who would have thought? She was, for all the wrong reasons, a celebrity. Literally, her name had been Googled over 1 million times that 1 week following the tweet. And what she did, knowingly or not, was she engaged in what we call Lashon Hara, which means evil speech. And the tricky part about evil speech is sometimes you say things, and we all do this. We all do this, everyone in this room. You say things sometimes that are mean about people behind their back, and sometimes you say things without the intention of them being mean, meaning they can be misconstrued or misunderstood as being mean, even though you hadn't intended to say anything mean. And especially with Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and, right? There are a lot of opportunities for us to engage in Lashon Hara. The kind that we know, gossip, malicious speech, that's the kind that we do behind someone's back, where we say something mean about them. But Lashon Hara can also be saying something about someone that we didn't intend to be mean. How many times do we say, before we're going to tell a friend something, how many times do we say, well, I don't mean to be mean? How many Jewish people start a sentence with, I don't mean to be negative? Here's my favorite. I don't mean to judge. So when someone says, I don't mean to be mean, I don't mean to be negative, I don't mean to judge, they are about to be mean, be negative, and judge. 100% of the time. The point of the story is that Lashon Hara is something that we all do, sometimes intentionally, sometimes not, and it is what this week's Parsha is all about. Because this week's Parsha tells us that the person who engages in Lashon Hara, in malicious speech or gossip, who says mean things about people behind their backs, is to be punished. And the punishment is through a way that they are shamed publicly. And in Judaism, very, very, very rarely are we shamed publicly for something. Usually, we are what is called a culture of guilt. We're very good at that. Yom Kippur is the epitome of a culture of guilt. You do something wrong, you say that you're sorry, you by yourself say that you're sorry, and then you're forgiven, hopefully. A culture of shame, which doesn't happen that much in the Torah, is about something happening to you when you do something bad that everyone gets to see. And that's what happens in this week's Parsha Metzora. People who engage in Lashon Hara are punished very, very publicly. Here's the point. The point is, regardless of whether you have a Twitter account or an Instagram account or a Facebook account and can, mistakenly or not, say something about someone else that may shame them or upset them, like this woman at Heathrow Airport, or you're just having a conversation with someone out in the parking lot, we have to be very, very careful how we use our words about other people. We have to think before we talk about someone to someone else, because we can hurt them very, very much, even if we really didn't mean to be negative, or we didn't mean to judge, or we didn't mean to say something mean. We can actually hurt someone and destroy their life. So here's the teaching for this Shabbat, my friends. Especially those of you who are consecrants now, we can get this lesson learned from Metzora very, very early. Be very, very careful with the words that you use when describing someone or talking about someone when they're not there, especially if it's on social media. But regardless, be very careful with the words that you use so that you can make sure you can perform a mitzvah, which is not just to learn from this week's parsha, but to actually do something about it by making sure that anything you're going to say about someone else, you would feel comfortable saying with them standing right there. And if you reach that litmus test, you can say something about someone as if they were standing right there in front of you, then you won't be engaging in Lashon Hara, and you have nothing to worry about. So on this Shabbat, let's think about that. How we talk about other people, how our words can impact other people, and let's really accept the fact that we all do this. All of us, all the time. It's something that kids and grown-ups can really, really work hard on. Shabbat Shalom.